can't get enough of it, dude. The game is absolutely just so much fun. So much fun. You only know a little. You know what's funny is, like, I've been running into some folks recently. Recently, one of them is like, she was like, she was, yeah, I'm learning because that's my boyfriend's really into. What do you know about it? Well, oh, let me tell you. It was sweet. Yeah, always looking out for their interests, you know? Always wanting to see what they were doing, right? It's a sweet thing. Everyone wanted to play. Yeah, it's true. It is just like you said. Maeve, you got closer to him than anyone else here. How did he treat you? Yeah, Maeve, tell us. What was it like to be around one of the God Emperor's anointed? You know what's funny is Maeve was like... Maeve, this is Maeve. The character you see here is Maeve. I am a different character altogether, but because of the story arc, my consciousness is now in this character that was around who I actually am earlier, right? So she's been following me around, and now we're a different consciousness. The funny thing is, though, is that Maeve's character, this made me laugh. She's like, did you meet the Emperor? Now understand that the Emperor is this being who now is seen as an immortal god. He's not necessarily dead, but he sure as heck ain't alive, right? He ain't moving around and stuff. He's basically trapped on a chair. Like, there's a lot more to it, but like he's basically contained into an area and is not able to speak to anybody or anything like that. Is there a mage class? Yeah, they're called psychers. Yeah. So Maeve asked me, she goes, did you meet the God Emperor? I was like, yeah, I did. I even advised them on many matters. The God Emperor's been in this chair for a long time, dude, for hundreds of years. It might have been thousands at this point. Well, hold on. How long? Actually, I can look it up right now. Let's see. Rogue Trader. How long has the Emperor been in the chair at start of game? What? Emperor McCann has been inherited within the Golden Throne, interred within the Golden Throne for over 10,000 years. Woof. Whoa. Start of Warhammer Rogue Trader game. The Emperor of Mankind has been interred within the Golden Throne for over 10,000 years. Dang. Oh, man. Way longer than I thought. I was like, yeah, a few thousand years. Not 10,000. No one's seen Papa Emperor for a while. Oh, man. Definitely, but no wonder people act the way they do. He literally is an absolute myth. The only reason he probably has any kind of like serious, legitimate hold on anybody is because you can still see his corpse on the throne. So yeah, and the joke's even more funny. It's even funnier. I'm like, yeah, I used to advise him about all kinds of things, and he's been like gone for 10K years. She's like, really? Yeah, definitely. The thing is you're a rogue trader, and a rogue trader has me, you're all Leo Ripbeard on Twitch. That's so sweet. Thank you. I believed you. I didn't think you. I believed you. And even if you hadn't, c'est la vie. Tis the nature of life to dream and push forward, I think. Yeah. I was gonna go, I actually went in there to see if we did it, like just to see if it was there, to be like, oh, look, there it is. But I thought about it for a second and I was like, it's sweet enough that you even think about doing that stuff. That's very nice. Exactly. I didn't know. I don't. It's the burden of proof is irrelevant. My life changes regardless. It does not change regardless in the sense of bad. Right? The only time you should ever really be concerned about anything is if things are going to get worse. Is you doing what you did making my life worse? I don't think so. Regardless if it's true or not. So whatever. Thank you. Very kind. I'll give you the rewards regardless. Thank you. Sweet of you. Don't take my weird anagrams of life to be anything other than just my whimsy. Continue if I wasn't here. I know it. I know. Exactly. I would speak and enjoy this game regardless. Though I will say my day has been bumped by your presence, but not an inconvenience. Just a note, as it were. Not really. I don't think it is. It might feel like it might be, but it's okay to go back if you want to. There's like a screen that you'll have on here in the game. You will be fine. If it been me there, I know I wouldn't have said a word in his presence. You never know what to expect from someone of such rank. For all you know, you say the wrong thing and he has your tongue ripped out, roasted, and served to you on a plate. What's that look for? It's happened before, I wouldn't lie. Getting a Monster same. Actually, mine's in my cup, but yeah, my favorite drink, man. I can't get Amazon. Amazon don't have no more. Yeah, I figure out how to get Rockstar to deliver to us personally, but you know, tis to be life. Never even spared me a glance, which isn't true. I talked to her constantly. Well, not constantly, but I shared an entire conversation with her. Not me to sing for him till sundown. Anyone who didn't fall silent when we approached and distracted him from enjoying the music was immediately executed. None of that's true. I didn't do any of that. But then I did this. Amicable and kind to me. That's exactly what it was. Why there's need to be a check for that? Probably because they don't believe it. Not their understanding as they continue to hang on your every word. Just a quick glance, just to walk on the same ground he stepped on. If we had rulers like that, we'd all breathe more freely. Why can't they make mercy their new custom instead of wearing their sewed on faces? Yeah, the sewed on face thing is a little messed up, man. I'll tell you, that's so gross. Hear about Lord Grimley's new wife? Popular servant has two attention now. Closer. All right, now we can walk away. Let's save it. This is a good example. If you're willing to read and stuff, don't be fooled by the early game's dialogue, voice dialogue. It doesn't last for long. That would be my main advice. Welcome back. And by the way, there are things you might be watching on my screen that you think are in the game, but I had to mod the game to be able to do this, for example, to make it so I can move the camera. The camera is very stingy in the game directly. My game audio is so loud. Yeah, it can get like that at times. See, we'll turn on suffix a little bit. Maybe turn on music a little bit. Sometimes it gets crazy quiet though. That's why I tend to. You're just gonna have to What is it? How do they say it? He's gonna have to deal with it. Oh, I could turn it up and like my volume up like this. Is this too loud though? No, I've turned up all the way on my channel. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Right now? Can you hear this? Hello, clicking. Too loud. That's too loud for anybody. Well, I turned it up now, but sometimes I get very screamy. You know what I mean? So, watch yourself. Especially so early in the morning, you know, just right off the bat. So early. Who dis? What's the mod you say? It's 1324. That's right. I forgot. You're from Indonesia. I know you're not from Indonesia. You read this one. I know. You typed that real fast. I got you. Yeah, Indonesia knows South Africa. Oh, class. It's so easy. It's so easy. Gotcha. All right. Oh, saving it definitely is interaction time. I'm gonna save it now. Idra, wait, what? Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm not me though. There is no need for concern. The protector and I are in the middle of examining the documents together with the governor. I will be back soon as we are done here. Explain the mod you were talking about, please. And there any I need to play? Are there any I need to play? Like any what? Your mods? Like which ones? Okay, listen here. Let me show you. There are 3 mods that there are 3 mods in my opinion that you must have, and you can see it on my screen right now, and I recommend you write them down. You can go to Nexus Mod. Just type that on in whatever search engine you want. It'll bring up the mod chat. It'll bring up the website. You search for, you know, this game particularly, or what you can do is type in Nexus Mod and then type in like free respec, more party slots. I recommend you get the more party slot thing. The way you guarantee that you get as much content out of the game as you're playing is to allow your characters to have more than 6 party members. The default is 6 members in a party. If you want to make the game challenging, don't do that, right? But like, I don't care about that shit, you know what I mean? I do like it, like fun, like I like the game to have a challenge, but I don't care about making the game so hard I have to nickel and dime my way through every single combat zone. No thank you. And then the last one is you want to get toy box for Rogue Trader, but that's just more like, I mean, this one allows you to like kind of basically cheat in every way, but there's a few reasons I get it. Like, for example, I have it ignore your archetype prerequisites so I can get whatever. It allows me to respec at any point. The other issue is like the big thing is the UI. For example, this is the big reason why I have this is the UI situation. You can go into here and it allows you to adjust your camera elevations. And it's a big deal. There you go. You're gonna get like sometimes you're gonna run into issues and stuff like that with the camera angles, but it's worth it. In my opinion, it is. You're welcome. There is no need to concern the protector. Okay. Easy. Even though the Lord Captain did report that everything is fine, something about his voice wasn't quite right. Then again, the protector is there too. I could be wrong, seeing as the accursed planet has too many sources of warp energies, but I seem to sense the echo of immaterium coming from above to endure this idle weight. They're really acting up. You know what? I don't care about what something's wrong. Okay, Morag, am I the only one who can hear the strange notes in the Etelech's voice? We must head to the top. Activating standby mode. First the elevator, now the rogue trader is stuck in the local archive. Intuition tells me they are making fools of us. We are playing right into their hands by standing around down here. Every moment spent away from Dolmen is another defeat for me. When the tension shifts to you, for now their reaction seems closer to pent-up irritation than outright hostility. They take no notice of you at first, but after a moment, one by one, they turn their gaze upon you. Silence falls over the street. Well, a lady in waiting that was assigned to my Shireen. Looks like she's lost the Lord Captain too, and her shanty to boot. In her sanity. Were you not the one assigned to watch over the rogue trader? It's an interesting dichotomy to see how they treat me, considering how I am. Dude, I'm not a tick to these people. I really am not. And we'll see. If Hendrix acts like a prick to me, man, I'll swear to God, I will kick him to 2 wins on a Sunday. Emanates the strong ones at that sorcery at work before our very eyes. These colors, is it as though they had been copied from those I see around Lord Captain? Hey, okay, come on, girl, you seeing it? I'll be damned, either I'm completely out of my mind or no, it's just insane. The Lord Captain in the body of the court lady, that's Rich whispers. The whispers are like, that's him. To profane sorcerer, I need my body back. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. Valencia's heir to the throne. Hey, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. Oh, let's see what it looks like. Look, there I am. There's Tormund. There's that handsome man. Living the ginger life. Some say we come from a different planet altogether. I would not argue that statement. I'm just kidding. Don't kidnap me and experiment. All you'll find is human organs, and then you'll look foolish. Did all that work for nothing. Stupid. And then it's another cover up for the government. For shame. Who perished in the course of Kunrad treachery? What else must I dredge up from the past to make you believe me? Would he order his dog to guard some Thracian shit? Me to my retinue. That's funny. You could have memorized a few facts from the Lord Captain's biography. Are we to play guessing games now? Shit. Appreciate, glad I could slightly elevate your day today. All the best. I'm gonna go play this game and get sunk into its lore. Yeah, I was wondering if you were even gonna hang around for long once you got that game installed, which I don't blame you for anyways. You have yourself a good day. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Just me on this. You'll find the rogue trader. Tell the shuttle pilot to take us there. You won't listen to me. You ready to game? Let's go, bro. Good luck, my friend. Having a difficult argument with unless the arbitrator was forced somehow. If anything could cause Solomon to be parted from his faithful dog, it would be to be threat to the Lord Captain. She's not lying about the sorcery. There is a strange current of warp energy following from her, leading somewhere up there. Do not weep, child. I will cut your thread quickly and painless before your soul succumbs to corruption. The tone. Avalar, please present my retinue. Sigil looks at you over your head to but you can see that he's still unsure. We need to get upstairs and trust me on this. You'll find the rogue trader at the top. Tell the shuttle pilot to take us there. He won't listen to me. Puzzling over your identity and start acting seems to have had an effect. At least no one is arguing with you anymore. Finally. When the dust clears, you see a familiar hall. From the shadows, the jester's eyes spark with malice as they meet yours. Behind him sits a cage in which your body is sitting. Your face is awash with tears, your tipped lips split. It's because the lady's in there. How did you, the elevator, damn it. Why did you have to make all this commotion? Why couldn't you just sit in the cage out of the way and wait for the ritual to be completed? The fool looks back at the altar. Have this move. The ritual is nearly complete, my lord. The altar changes are ready to irrevocably switch the threads of fate. You have stolen something from me, Rioldo. I have come to reclaim it. And how, may I ask, you intend to do that? Only... Master Interrogator, right now I am prepared to cross it. So what we may stand together and give this one motley a beating it deserves. Grits his teeth as he shoots them both at a withering look. Get him, brother! Oh, it's a dog, bro! Damn! You struggle to open your eyes after the world has once again taken shape. You realize that you are staring at your own palms from your own eye sockets. You move a hand and each muscle responds gleefully with warmth. Oh, back to me again. Myself again. It was so she likes to drink to say anything more. But the heretic was so obsessed with the lump of stone, I figured the sorcery would ruin it without it. Quite difficult. Besides, without you and Galado there, the outcome would have been too unpredictable. Come on, man. I didn't click that. The game. Oh, shit.
Take a knee and bow before me.
Show them no mercy.
All too easy. Suits my purposes. Nothing I can't do.
Don't get too cocky. How about no? This battlefield air is good for my lungs.
I feel nothing. Fear nothing.
To non-believers.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. Eradicated. As the Emperor commands, I act. We can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. Isn't this faith the navigator's might? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
What a busted ability. Veiled degradation by 7 points. She just straight drops it.
Quick!
Enjoy your luck while you still draw breath.
I serve the ruinous powers.
As on a thy blade be drenched
My
in blood,
God.
and thy blessing flow through my veins. Trust me. This goes against the tenets.
Unexpected result.
If it serves your cause, another soul slips beyond the veil. I will not. That is beneath me. If I must.
The order's clear. It won't. Glato, we're undertaking this task.
Quiet, Whispers! It's my toy, and I'm gonna control it myself.
Naturally.
But of course, Lord Captain.
Let's see to it.
I venerate you, machine spirit. Let's get
Oh.
I will do my duty. It will be done. For Hope Valencius! Indeed.
This is unacceptable.
Not a problem for me. My time is now.
I am
Our forges are made of plus steel.
If I... I'm not another foe painted black. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Nothing. You didn't stand a chance.
Classic.
Faith strike is a prayer.
I guess you gotta go finish them off.
I have read tomes of military tactics.
Prince of Scarlet. As honor ordains. The shadows will see it done. I shall not fail. Come, the other side awaits.
You got chomped. When you ask questions and you answer, I better be honest and to a point. I swear by the legs, I'll make you speak, or rather whatever remains of you after I finish preparing you for the interrogation. The ritual was complex one to perform, so it took Travis and me a long time to calibrate it, and you were the one it worked on. To think of all the possibilities that opened up using the altar of change, I could have worked my way up to a Lord of Terra. What are you talking about? The very suggestion, you sick degenerate. As my father used to say, if you're gonna come a long way, keep going. I'm a dead man as it is, so I might as well dream a little. Excuse me. It's genius in a weird way, man. He made it so that he would be able to walk around unnoticed because he started a tradition of cutting people's faces off. So he cut his own face off and gave it to his servant, pretended to be him, he ran around as the fool doing whatever. That's fucking crazy. You know, I mean, in its own weird way, it's a logical sense, but crazy. As human, being or read your verdict is befitting a criminal. You are stained to Theresa's history, and it is time. Maeve opens her eyes and immediately jumps to her feet at the sight of the bloody corpse. She clenches her hands to her chest and her eyes well up. Records the time period is 1 Terran decade, and the quota prescribed is 1,000 cargo units. The governor withheld 100 units for each of the 5 most recent shipments. That means the actual world has actually difficulty regulating supplying its tribute. Regularly supplying this tribute, I see. Deciding what to do with their Thacertium is far more important. It is a resource we cannot afford to ignore. I propose destroying all the Thacertium already mined as well as its deposits. The probability of this material itself as a source of corruption is too high. It would take years of research by the Aptus Estrada Telepathica to prove it's safe for the souls of the sanctioned. Years of Cronus does not have, even if the local adeptus have found spare. Yeah, we should probably destroy it. A tool like you, so what if the lunatic once used it for their deranged end? It can just equally serve a good purpose. Destroy the gold mine? Has the Iron Jaw Ashmog lost his mind, Shireen? I've got to start harvesting this wonderful mineral. In the name of the Imperium, obviously. Besides, you has any knowledge of this mineral properties. If it is left here, no one will find out. World is beyond saving. Heresy exudes from its very depths. I hereby order the immediate destruction of all Theratasium and declare exterminatus on the planet. The administratum will be given several years to evacuate its property, after which Thacera will be cleansed by fire. Do your way, Celeborn. Let's get rid of the Theratasium, but I will not inform the administratum of its properties. It may result in the planet's destruction, and we cannot have innocents suffer because of all those misdeeds. Thacertium. I'm struggling with the word. I don't know why. Inklings, but that does not mean it cannot be useful. We must study the mineral thoroughly before deciding whether to destroy it or include it into the tithe. You were accomplice to the heretics, and you have been touched by sorceress blight. In your position, I would beg for a swift execution. What can you do? I can brew recap. I can do sweet with foam and cream, or strong with special spices. I can dance, sing, carry scrolls, data slates. Yeah, why not? She's just chilling. What? I can't trust her to be the governor. I don't think she understands how to do that job. Whether he was lying or trying to manipulate us is irrelevant. Nation must be destroyed. As for casualties, the Emperor will know his own. As you approach the damaged altar, you feel an unpleasant weakness. You hear a faint ringing in your ears, as if the smooth surface of the stone is groaning from the wounds of the surface. Lord Captain, do you read? The shuttle pilot reported the rescue operation and forces are on their way. What is your stance? Are you live? Come in. Copy, Lord Captain. The moment of ringing silence and then 1,000 shard pieces your mind. A familiar voice coils around your thoughts, drawing them in. Are you leaving without even considering me, child? Without even asking yourself how such a vivid soul managed to remain intact without wandering in the darkness, embraced and donning other guises? Such rare luck for a mortal. In the icy silence, you are struck with a series of incredible reflections. You are not alone, and you never were. It was always there in your shadow, in your blood, inside you. This luck is named the edge of daybreak. Had it not been for my sleepless gaze, your mind would have long since joined the mournful host of those who are no more. It was I who kept it whole and unharmed, for I could not allow such a radiant destiny to fall to some absurdity, but at times I do wonder if it's worth my protection. You are nothing but a worm in the shadow of the golden throne. Reveal yourself to me and let us fight, or is hiding like a coward in the back of a person's thoughts all you're capable of? Naivete is a bold luxury. It is not time to face the truth, child. The threads of fate will not obey your desire alone, but I can help you grasp them. Once you are ready, thankfully I am generous. I give my chosen children time to understand. After all, human souls are so fragile. Keep dreaming. I was really worried that whole thing would get frozen, but it did not.
The premonition runs true.
We shall prevail.
$420, baby. Reason will prevail.
It's about time. Victory awaits! A new challenge for me. None shall stand in my way.
Lord Captain. Lord...
Greetings, Rogue Trader. I would like to report that Glato and I have finished our initial inspection of the upper decks. The list of infractions ended up being 5 pages shorter than expected. I'm beginning to worry that a servant of the Lex might have little to occupy himself with aboard your ship. I doubt such a word could ever be accurately used to describe an arbitrator, but there is some truth to your observation. Since we're not in combat, I permit myself to stand at ease, which is to say, I'm standing by on full alert. A rogue trader and an arbitrator. You have an interesting notion of normality. Well, I'll try not to disappoint you with my conversation skills. We are servants of the God Emperor's law, made manifest in the Lex Imperialis. The Adeptus Arbates uphold order on the scale of the Imperium and bring merciless punishment to offenders. The most significant ones. Beyond the Expanse, the Arbates not only enforce tithe collection, but also ensure that every planet obeys his law and that the Imperium's authority remains unchallenged. Corrupt governors, crime syndicates, rebels. Not a minute goes by without some parasite trying to take a bite out of the Imperium. We destroy any who dare trespass against the law. Unless said man's innocence has been previously established, such as during an investigation. In any other scenario, murder is just a common disturbance. My intervention is only required in the case of an attack on an administratum functionary or some other important figure. Then, I must take measures.
They're like the tax man, but with teeth.
However, if I have an assignment to carry out, I will ignore any distracting factors. The duties of the Arbates are above everyday crime. We collect the tithe that feeds the military might of the Imperium and sustains its authority over many worlds. To be bogged down in trivialities is to commit a criminal waste of time and resources that have been granted to us to serve the absolute of the law. Your suggestion that I could have prevented the disappearance of a star sounds almost flattering. And yet, I never dodge responsibility. Let the Emperor, in the hour of his final judgment, determine the measure of my guilt in what happened. Those are indeed the greatest threat to the Imperium, and I never leave a heretic I meet without a bullet lodged inside him. But such matters are primarily handled by other forces, which are influential enough so as not to be mentioned out loud without a reason. I am at your disposal. As you saw for yourself on Rykad Minoris, quite far. The Arbates passed the sentence and carry it out summarily. Only the highest echelons of Terra and servants of the Inquisition and rogue traders here in the Expanse can expect the privilege of a trial. Planetary governors, nobility, clergy, to an arbitrator, they are all equal before the law.
Jesus.
Testing me, are you? That is fine by me. The Lex Imperialis is both the code of law and the word of the God Emperor himself. For millennia, his decrees have been amassed and preserved on Holy Terra, in the Hall of Judgment, alongside the High Lord's orders. It is at once a titanic collection of edicts and a holy text. It does. Your capital world operates under the Lex Dargonus, formed over many generations of the Von Valancius line. However, the Lex Imperialis is the final word in every debate. It stands above any legal directives a planet may have, for it comes from the Emperor himself. It would take longer than a lifetime to read through even a fraction of his law. But there are fundamental, integral prescripts that every arbitrator knows verbatim. These are the Injuncta Cardinal, inscribed on the walls of the Arbites precinct fortresses and etched into our ammo casings. We quote them as the indisputable truth and recite them like psalms as we charge into battle. As it should. The codes of the Lex Imperialis are my prayer, and I believe that every arbitrator's service is sacred, for it brings this imperfect reality closer to that inscribed in the Book of Judgment, closer to the God Emperor's will. I am listening. To collect and guard the tithe. That does not mean we ignore other violations of the Lex Imperialis. We simply act within the scope of our limited resources, the first of which being our small numbers. Here in the Expanse, many believe themselves to be too far from the civilized parts of the Imperium to have need of the law. The presence of the Adeptus Arbites helps to remind those people that the Lex Imperialis is in effect wherever there is at least one human being. You prefer to have a better understanding of the people you travel with. That makes sense. Ask. Port Wanda in Calixis. The gateway to the Expanse, a monumental station, always covered in ships and bursting at the seams from all the deal on Dargonus. Lady Theodora gave the top level of one of the spires over to the Arbites. A noble house used to occupy it, before it decided to stick its hand into the dynasty's coffers. By offering us such prominent lodgings, your predecessor both reinforced her ties to the Arbites and made an unambiguous gesture toward the nobility. She was a shrewd woman and unforgiving. I must admit, I was pleasantly surprised. I'd expected something far less civilized, given that the Coronis Expanse is on the outskirts of the Imperium. Instead, Dargonus may even compare to some Calixian worlds in status and stability. How? The short answer is the Schola Progenium. But I doubt you'd be satisfied with that. My father was an arbitrator, a good one. Or else they wouldn't have found him in an alley filled with bullet holes. Someone who served with my father told me he was shot with 10 different weapons, and that he took at least 4 of the bastards down with him. I was sent to the Schola Progenium right after that, and the mentors there forged me into an arbitrator. I was an eager student, thanks to the example of unyielding duty and dignity my father set for me. The only thing I didn't need to borrow from him was hate. He didn't instill that. It was always with me. I never doubted that criminal vermin deserve only execution, but it was my father's death that truly crystallized my hatred, made it complete. No, I didn't want to. There was a time when I wasn't sure what to think of my father's death. Or rather, I tried not to think at all. I didn't look into the case, or for any other reason, to go back to Port Wanda. Arbitrators are never assigned to their homeworlds anyway. But when I was leaving Calixis, our ship spent several days docked at the station, and so I permitted myself to go to the spot where my father was killed. I stood there for a while, and nothing. I knew that another arbitrator would have already seen the investigation through. I had nothing left to do there, It's possible. He didn't speak much. Sometimes we went days without saying a word to each other. The only time he was talkative was when he was going through his cases at night. He would inform me in terse and simple words who had sold out and why, what depravities the heretics from the lower hive levels had committed, what base motives the workers had had for hanging their foremen. All I did was listen, watch, and think. That was enough. From what my father told me, she was a principled woman of poor health. She died in childbirth. Not having known her might be the sole regret of my life. It's all true. I am a second-generation arbitrator, and my father is as dead as it gets. I wonder if being killed in action runs in the family. I guess I should hold off until I have a kid. You should ask the Marshal. I got my assignment, and that is all I know. I assume it's due to my experience. Collecting tithes from worlds bordering on savagery, and where people haven't seen a living arbitrator in 3 generations, is a task best left to a veteran. This isn't banishment. Otherwise, the same would apply to the Marshal and all other arbitrators in the Coronis Expanse. We are here because the Imperium needs its tithe, and that's all there is to it. I suppose I have what you would call a proven and diverse track record. Investigations, rebel suppressions, punitive raids, dozens of completed operations. There was this one time. I was part of a raid on a gang of mutants. I excelled in battle, received an award, and was promoted to Proctor. That is all. Very well. Have you ever been eaten alive? That raid I mentioned was compromised. The enemy had been tipped off to our operation, and we had walked into a trap. Some mutants decided to chew my arm off. That was a mistake.
Whoa.
Since I couldn't free myself, I pushed my hand down his throat, grabbed something inside, and used him as a shield. While the thing was gnawing on my bones and spraying me with ichor and my own blood, I opened fire on the rest of the scum. That little maneuver bought my unit a few critical seconds.
Jesus. God
I
damn
believe
it.
you. A rogue trader's throne does not tolerate weaklings or idiots.
I wasn't trying to one-up him, man. God damn it. Stupid hand. Ah, man.
I'm listening. You hear that, Glato? The rogue trader himself is asking about you. His serial number is GL80. Glato is easier to say in Gothic. Many give their cybermastiffs striking names like Slayer or Thunder. I'm fine with Glato. He mostly provides combat support. He is trained in both lethal and non-lethal ways of disabling a target, with the ability to analyze a situation and then decide on a course of action. Glato is a good tracker too, and he can spot basic evidence. He also knows over 100 commands. In general, he is more resourceful and diligent than most people I've met.
That part I believe.
Glato, ready! The frame is mostly metal, with armored plates covering the vital segments. The jaw is reinforced. Crunching a leg off is like tearing a hair out for him.
Jesus.
I don't even know a tenth of all the things Glato is fitted with, but it's an impressive list to be sure. Take the sensors in his nose for one. A cybermastiff is like an odor analysis laboratory. All right, that's that. Glato, attention. They range from kill and guard and the like, to more complex guard and patrol protocols. A protocol is a combination of behavioral patterns, which the Cybermastiff follows according to the present situation. In other words, I don't have to control Glato all the time. He can adjust and react to the circumstances on his own.
He just yawns. Fucking terrifying arsenal of razor-like teeth. Bro, you don't even respond.
That is a useless command, Rogue Trader. A Cybermastiff must always be in an advantageous position to attack the enemy. Glato can crawl or move stealthily if the situation calls for it, but regardless, he will not respond to someone else's order. As you wish.
He will not respond to someone else's order. That'll do. As you wish. If you don't understand the irony of why that makes me laugh, I don't think we could be friends. I'm just teasing. Glato is fairly servitorized, or is some part of him still alive as a living dog?
Generally, Cybermastiffs have all aspects of their animal nature removed, but Glato is a special case. His submodel takes a dog's loyalty and instincts as a hunter and guard, and renders them absolute. He is neither a dog nor a servitor. He is something much more. A Cybermastiff, a living weapon in service of the law.
Vehemence in the way he describes Galato's outstanding qualities. He likes the dog. It's his companion. I don't blame him.
Glato is not a pet. He is an instrument of justice, as am I. So, we understand each other. Good. Correct. Both his training and his augmetics ensure that Glato only accepts orders from me or from my superior officers. Apart from having the obvious benefits, it also serves to prevent disarray on missions involving multiple Cybermastiff handlers. I've never been a part of a rogue trader's escort before. That said, I adapt to change more quickly than you might think. And as long as Glato is with me, I can handle any transition.
See, he don't want to admit it, but he loves that dog.
Glato is not a house pet, rogue trader. Trying to feed him will get you nowhere. He only eats out of my hands, and only at specific times. Strict training. It protects the Cybermastiff against deliberate poisoning and other ill intents. Basically, don't waste your time or your meat.
This will likely get my finger bit. The dog might likely bite me.
Sometimes I let him play with heretics' corpses. That was a joke. If you're asking about entertainment, that concept does not really apply to an Arbiti's dog. But I like to imagine that Glato is enthusiastic about training with me, that he enjoys running long distances at my side, and during target practice, he always seems eager to hear me give the attack order. Fine, let me satisfy your curiosity. I do have a special exercise that helps to sharpen Glato's hunting instincts. I take a few ammo casings and hide them in hard-to-reach places. One time, after a raid on a manufactorum, I gave him a whole abandoned workshop to run around in, but I also played a trick on him by throwing one casing onto a ceiling beam. Then it was Glato's turn to play tricks. He waited under the beam until I walked up to him. Then he jumped onto my shoulders and climbed to the top. He cut my temple open with his claw and almost broke my clavicle, but he got the casing. The equipment needs to be sturdy. Glato is unstoppable when he's not holding back. I must remind you that Glato is a living weapon. If you like the number of fingers you have, do not touch the dog.
I suppose my fingers do have sentimental value.
No.
If I'm gonna order you to order Glada to sit still, would it going to do me this small favor? I just want to pet him.
Wise
I
choice.
suppose, yeah, you probably can't get him to stop because there's probably a protocol to prevent him from allowing even his commander to have him sit still while other people are trying to touch him. There's probably something to do with it.
You know where to find.
I don't blame it. That's pretty fun. Remember, I gotta keep saving. I can forget to do that. I gotta make sure I know what that is. I think she would like that, actually. She might be annoyed, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the Borderland was too good. Maybe she would have liked the library. I don't know.
I'm not going to lie. I haven't. Maybe I never will. But I'm not hearing random voices anymore. And I haven't been calling anyone from the other side. No. All that's done with. After what you did for me, I can't let you down again. Yes, sir, Lord Captain. We will. Of course.
Take heed, Nemo. Elantark.
I don't have time for this.
No, you don't have time for this. Wait.
May the Exalted One protect you.
There we go, that's better. Funny enough. I wish you would tell me how much. Starting to get like tired. I don't want to stop playing, but I might have to cut it here shortly.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
An officer be assigned to oversee the investigation. Checking according to protocol-based assignment of the head investigator is regulated by protocol. Fine is to be imposed on the petitioner for failing to preserve the evidence. Bro, what? Now they're getting fined as well. That's hilarious. You can't. They're getting fined because they're not preserving the bodies and the decayed and shit is what it seems like. That's actually really funny. It's sad, but it's funny. Sad and funny. It's ironic, I guess. Entry in the matter of the world threats and the obligation to pay the imperial authority audience with the perfect the deficits became the sound session. Tell them, what are your findings? So the heretic has seized power on Thessa. I had him executed. Been dealt with. If you need the particulars, go see for yourself. I discovered a warp active mineral on Thessa and ordered it to be studied. If the resource proves sufficiently useful to the Imperium, you must include it in the tithe. Action were forced by circumstance. The loss of the governor means the loss of a very stability of the any servant administrative is immutability obligated to uphold and protect. Affected the execution of the governor. Governor was killed by death decision. Shrine on preliminary damage assessment restoration forecast that the world key structures class A severe noted a record. Are be considered safe and are to be halted until further notice noted and recorded. I will be frank with you, your lordship. The conclusions that were drawn regarding the Thessera inspection were far from satisfactory. Minor disturbances such as a mass execution of mutants or a rabble plot disguised as a celebration are not nearly as dangerous as the, if you will permit my choice of words, coup that resulted from your intervention. I understand the consequences are something that those endowed with power want to leave to their servants to deal with, and therefore something they find acceptable to ignore. However, I hope my words may help you to re-advise your approach in executing the Imperium's will in the Cronus expanse in the future. I, his wholly unworthy servant, have no right to twist any facts. He needs to assess the consequences and everything. First item on the agenda. From now on, the next matter. Begin an entry to serious assessment protocol. Sound Lothar based on his performance during the mission of Rothessa. Hey, lawman. Information at Marshal Starch's request. Was acting solely on the name of the Lex Imperialis. However, the outcome of the mission speaks for itself. My verdict is thus that my performance in the Sarah case was inadequate. Inspection report has been properly entered into the record. Allow me on my behalf of the Adeptus Ministratum to officially extend our gratitude to you for the support you provided us. May the Von Valencius name be forever praised, and may the Imperial protect your dynasty for many generations to come. That said, I must now request your assistance in a different capacity. A number of highly important court cases have accumulated at the Palace of Justice, a kind that requires formal resolution for the Rogue Trader himself. First, whereupon you can ask me clarification question in the case, and then gives you a meaning if you can look over Echolands. A death sentence must be passed. You are, of course, free to judge otherwise, but an execution is preferable, since in every case that will come before you, an outcome without highly unpleasant consequences is unlikely. Executions reduce the number of malcontents and motivate prospective defendants to solve their problems before they come under the punitive tutor's court. Shit, bro. All right, let's deal out some justice, I guess. Hope I can save it. Guess not. We are justice. Wait, oh, this is like really on the nose. Come on, classic. Oh, dope ass chair though. Oh my god, all the bureaucracy below him. And that is a big ass gun. What the fuck? Greeted by an impeccably dressed man with a perfectly straight back. The Arbites scale emblem is embroidered on his cloak. Glory to House Van Valencias. We are honored to welcome you to the Palace of Justice, your lordship. Do you wish to proceed this session at once, or will you grace me with any questions that I humbly may answer? What is this place? This is the place of Palace of Justice, the ninth residence of House von Valancius, erected by your esteemed ancestor Benefaz von Valancius, and handed over to Theodore von Valancius. Ever may she bask in the throne's radiance, in the Adeptus Arbites, in the Administratum for Justiciary uses. Cases are of special interest are heard in the palace. Sentence are carried out all here also. As is the case with the rest of the Imperium, worlds make do with the traditional method. The accused are not allowed to say a word. The executions are carried out as ordered by planetary authorities or by powerful organizations of the Imperium. Only here on Dargonus does such an unusual ceremony exist. Benefaz von Valancius was known for his eccentricities. It is said that he invented the system himself and started this glorious tradition in which you are to take part today. Only the most important ones that involve the interests of the highest born persons or prominent factions of the Imperium. Disputes between noble houses that go on for generations, conflicts between God Emperor's servants who are vested with authority and whose disagreements affect trade and security of the Protectorate, and other litigations of supreme significance. Of life and death. In such instances, there is always a guilty party whose lies, conveniences, and negligences have caused damage to the Protectorate. The task of the judge is to establish guilt and pass a stern sentence as ordered. Order cannot be imposed without those or without summary execution. Alright, here we go. The court will now hear case PD 1453/2, the doleful host against the Astropathic Choir of Dargonus representatives, where the parties will present their arguments following the standard procedure. A woman with lines of scripture all over her skin folds her arms onto the aquila. My name is Sister Judith, and I represent the doleful host. O God, Emperor, Anointed One, we came upon a group of heretics whose mind brimmed with the most shameless thoughts. We captured them and tortured them as befits their transgressions. From what we were able to discern from their wailing screaming, the head of the Astropathic Choir is plotting to betray House Von Valancius. No one is a liar when flame is caressing their flesh. The doleful host surrounded the choir building and demanded that the heretic be handed over. It was solely out of the respect of the Anointed One that we refrained from burning down the wayward heretic's den on the spot. However, say but the word and we shall take him, and he may undergo a righteous cleansing. Arguments are acknowledged and shall be weighed on the scales of justice. The representatives will retreat to the chapel of patience and await the verdict. Angelio. I am Master Angelio. I represent the Dargonis Astropathic Choir. These insidious and ignorant people are passing off their victims' ravings as truth, your lordship. People say anything under torture just to make the agony stop. We have served House Von Valancius faithfully for decades. Master Prass, the longest of all, please order them to stand down. There's no Master Prass for quite a long time. He has made a very measured statement to the effect that some time now the mental image conveyed by Prass have taken on a shade of profound anxiety and that have become more aloft and detached overall. True is to Prass' horrific experience during the warp storm, but he is less than completely sure, as there is still something that sets the Dragonis Firemaster's message apart from those of his fellow surveyors. That they have already said what they had to say and are humbly awaiting their fate. Whether questions you have, you may pose to me. Sacred relics installed as a testament to the alliance between the Von Valancius dynasty on one side and the Adeptus of Beatties of the Administratum on the other. Legends say ancient machine spirits dwell within the relic. Scales of justice are only used on extraordinary occasions when the intervention from the rogue trader is necessary. Ceremony dictates that the items symbolizing the party's argument be placed on the scales, and when one verdict is announced, the machine spirits weigh the decision made and show either affirmation or rejection through the position of the scales. However, there has never been an occurrence where the rogue trader or the spirits of the scales were divided on the verdict. The design of the device is nothing more than a set of regular, albeit enormous and massively crafted weighted scales devoid of machine spirits or of any kind. Someone must be secretly manipulating the plates in order to add greater profoundness to the rogue trader's verdict. The Doleful Host is a respectful cult of the God Emperor. The Adeptus Ministorum have deemed them to be paragons of virtue who combat every manner of heresies and have enlisted their aid in various conflicts. Naturally, the ecclesiarchy stops short of counting them among the warriors, but it uses them in very similar ways. The Astropathic Choir hardly needs an introduction. They are some of the most valuable servants of the Imperium, without whom all communication between your worlds would collapse. The Dargonis Choir are the horrific casualties in the recent major warp storm. Master Cross made an enormous effort to at least partially restore communication. While we may not have proof of his innocence, Cross dedicated to his duty is beyond doubt. As you can see, this is an intricate situation. You can see now that no matter what decision you make, it will backfire on you. However, there is a way to benefit from this. Allow the host to dispense their vigilance justice. Then accuse the fanatics of violating an ancient agreement that forbade the ecclesiarchy from having its own army and proceed to confiscate the host property. Worthy replacement is found for Master Praz. He cannot be executed. There is a Chorda world that owes us an old debt which can be repaid with a seasoned astropath. We can make the request, although it would leave the planet in question with barely any means of communication. Dude, this game. I'm not talking because I'm getting like pretty tired. I don't want to talk anymore really. Because like I want to do this and then finish up what we're doing here and then go to bed. Freshen my mind because it's starting to wane. Terrible idea. I send you to death for wanting to sentence yourself to death. Crazy. Damage taken. Cardinal and of 108. Bro. All right, I'm gonna take this time to finish for now. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go head to bed, and then I will catch you when I wake up, I guess. See you.